Hi everyone, my name is Mitch Spaulding and I'm a Senior Solutions Engineer on Okta's SLED team. Before joining Okta, I worked at an Okta implementation partner as an identity consultant. I helped organizations in both the US and UK deploy Okta and move off of legacy identity solutions to simplify complex IAM processes while increasing overall security. In that role, I really got exposure to how much Okta made IT teams' lives easier, and I couldn't resist an opportunity to work directly with such an amazing technology and team in Okta's public sector organization. Outside of Okta, I run and operate the B-Sides Columbus Cybersecurity Conference, held every year in Columbus, Ohio. While it varies from agency to agency, a large challenge that government IT teams often face when it comes to identity-centric processes is the sheer management overhead required to maintain existing identity toolsets, custom scripts, and custom code that support government identity programs today. It's unfortunate that the majority of the legacy identity solutions out there that different government entities utilized weren't designed with the same flexibility that Okta is able to offer out of the box. The limits of these tools required government IT teams to customize the identity solutions via custom scripts and code in order to meet the government's identity requirements. The issue is that the long-term management of 10 to 15-year-old scripts and code becomes burdensome for IT teams who have to onboard modern applications and services while also juggling a multitude of other responsibilities. And that really leads me into the next challenge. As governments procure more modern and SaaS services, it's not easy to adapt or scale the existing identity processes to integrate with newer applications. I've personally seen cases where it has taken multiple days and even weeks just to enable SSO for a given service using legacy identity solutions, let alone automating identity-centric processes. Again, it sometimes takes weeks for IT teams to perform basic create, update, and deactivate actions of user accounts in third-party applications via custom scripts and code. This approach to identity isn't sustainable, especially as governments are looking to perform more granular identity automations and orchestrations of their user accounts in different applications. At a high level, each Okta Workflow is kicked off by an event. These events could be a multitude of occurrences either in Okta or third-party applications like Google Workspace or Microsoft 365. Examples of Okta-oriented events are cases like a user's account being activated in Okta, a user being added to an Okta group, a user being assigned to an application, and a user's Okta account being deactivated. Third-party application events are items like files or a folder being updated in OneDrive, a new channel being created in Slack, and a permitted malicious link click was detected in Proofpoint. These events can easily be added to the beginning of a flow with admins able to point and select the event from a drop-down list of possible events. Once a given event is defined in Okta Workflows, IT admins can then specify the actions that need to occur after the event is triggered. Similar to events, actions are specific tasks that can be performed either in Okta or Okta integrated applications. Examples of Okta actions are updating a user's profile with specified values, suspending a user's Okta account, removing a user's access to an application, or clearing a user's Okta session. Third-party actions are items like assigning a specific license to a user account in Microsoft 365, adding a user to a Microsoft Teams channel, sending an automated email to a given account, creating a personal folder for a user inbox, or assigning specific roles to a user in Salesforce. The last component of Okta Workflows are the functions that Okta extends to administrators. These functions enable IT teams to customize Okta Workflows and specify the conditions that actions must occur under. Functions also provide support for data manipulation, as well as items like error handling. The awesome part about these functions is that they can replicate classic developer logic and reasoning without the hassle of actually writing and maintaining custom scripts and code. As an example, an IT admin can use a function to specify a continue if condition to only execute a given workflow when a user is added to the accounts payable group in the event. If the user was not added to the accounts payable group, the function will then end the flow automatically. By being able to select, drag, and drop different events, actions, and functions in Okta Workflows, admins no longer have to deal with maintaining hundreds of lines of scripts and code, and can more easily design joiner, mover, and leaver processes that can help future-proof different government agencies moving to more SaaS-centric offerings. What's really powerful about Okta Workflows' low-code to no-code capabilities is that practically anyone can build a tailored automation without any previous experience with scripting languages like JavaScript and Python. If you can think through a given joiner, mover, leaver process, you can definitely design it with Okta Workflows. As an example, Okta Workflows gives individuals the ability to specify an if-else condition just by simply dragging a box into the workflow. If someone wants to notify an app owner of an access assignment, admins can easily drag the send email box into the flow. That straightforward action may have taken hours to add into an existing process requiring custom scripts and custom code, whereas with Okta, it takes seconds. By making Okta Workflows accessible to everyone, especially traditional IT folks, departments and agencies can boost innovation with more individuals able to automate traditionally complex processes. I've personally seen a multitude of cases where government IT teams were understaffed and in dire need of support. This is another challenge governments have been facing as a result of the COVID pandemic and the Great Resignation. Okta Workflows can be a fantastic solution to solving for understaffed IT teams. As we've discussed before, Okta Workflows is designed to offer agencies a straightforward path to accommodating their most complex joiner, mover, and leaver processes in a low to no code approach. Once architects and engineers have had time to sit down and optimize their identity processes by putting together workflows, Okta Workflows really becomes a set-it-and-forget-it utility that functions for teams on their behalf. Since Okta Workflows handles all of the back-end maintenance and management of the service, understaffed IT teams can focus their energy on other important projects rather than dealing with mundane identity processes. It's also worth mentioning that really nature-specific workflows can be designed to run in an on-demand or time-based capacity. Administrators can simply push a button or schedule workflows to run automatically at a specific time to handle ancillary identity-related tasks. Again, Okta provides the necessary building blocks to remove all the manual or rudimentary tasks that would normally bog down understaffed IT teams. One of the really cool things about Okta Workflows is its ability to tie into other utilities in the IT ecosystem, such as ITSM solutions. We can use our pre-built integrations with platforms like ServiceNow, or our ability to leverage any publicly available API to automate specific tasks through the power of workflows. As an example, if the ITSM solution is the place where users go to make password reset requests today, Okta Workflows can trigger an automated flow when someone creates a password reset ticket in the ITSM. Workflows can pull the details of the ticket and automatically issue a password reset for the user on behalf of the IT service desk team, enabling the user to be more productive and the service desk team to focus on more important tickets coming through the system. Okta has a plethora of security capabilities available through Okta Workflows. As part of Okta's commitment to security, the Workflows product team has released pre-built workflow templates that IT security teams can take advantage of today. The three areas of focus are protecting agency data, responding to risk signals, and extending security auditing and reporting. When it comes to protecting agency data, IT teams can notify the security team when users update their password or MFA factors under specific conditions. In addition, IT teams can also notify the necessary individuals when profile updates are made to accounts, which may grant users elevated roles or permissions. For responding to risk signals, admins can track and alert upon possible account takeover attempts in Okta. Admins can also quarantine user accounts when suspicious activity is detected, and terminate user sessions and services such as Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, or Zoom. Workflows can also take it a step further by remotely locking user devices through services like Jamf. And lastly, agency IT teams can extend security audit and reporting through Okta Workflows by identifying inactive users in Okta based on a specific time period and managing access to GitHub repositories based on third-party security platforms like Secure Code Warrior's assessment status. Through these workflow templates, agencies can improve their security posture, increase efficiency, and ensure compliance all out of the box with Okta Workflows. Okta gives government IT teams an opportunity to simplify and streamline onboarding and offboarding in a manner that's far more sustainable for government agencies. The first way Okta improves onboarding and offboarding is through our pre-built integrations via the Okta Integration Network. Okta extends 7,600 plus application integrations to all of our customers in order to handle the basic provisioning and deprovisioning tasks of creating, updating, and deactivating user accounts and third-party apps that take minutes to set up and configure. Taking care of basic identity onboarding and offboarding for an agency's applications is often seen as a huge improvement for agencies still dependent on custom connectors and scripts to provision and deprovision identities. Next, Okta takes that basic onboarding and offboarding a step further by automating and orchestrating any specific identity process with Okta Workflows. Like we've spent the majority of the conversation today discussing, Okta Workflows is built to process any nuanced or niche joiner, mover, or leaver process that's tailored specifically for a given government agency. whether it's creating a user as a guest account in Microsoft 365 or automatically adding a user to a group that has elevated permissions based upon the contents of a user profile. Okta Workflows can automate the process using a low to no code approach. Lastly, Okta layers on the checks and balances of identity management through Okta Identity Governance. With Okta Identity Governance, administrators and auditors alike can configure and run automated access certification campaigns at specific timeframes to make sure that an agency's users are correctly assigned to the necessary applications and groups in Okta. In addition, for any kind of access that goes beyond a user's birthright level of access, users can request access to different applications and groups directly through collaboration suites like Microsoft Teams and Slack. This approach to identity governance not only improves the user experience, but it also reduces the time it would normally take to get identity governance deployed across a government agency. By consolidating onboarding and offboarding in a single cloud-native solution like Okta, agencies no longer need to worry about managing niche identity solutions or keeping up with custom scripts or custom code. Okta provides a holistic identity solution, greatly simplifying and streamlining the methods to solving for any identity-centric use case. The advice I would give government IT teams looking to simplify and automate their identity processes at scale through Okta Workflows would be to map out at a high level all the complex and tedious identity processes that need to occur in order for the agency to function as expected. It can be as simple as just writing down all the steps in a given workflow. Look for complex scenarios like specific approval processes that need to be followed before a user changes roles in the department or agency. Other items like files in OneDrive or Box that need to be transferred to a specific individual when a user leaves the agency would also qualify in this group. Once these highly tailored identity workflows have been identified, start looking for areas of optimization in your given processes. There's often cases where given flows can be simplified by cutting out steps that are no longer necessary and replacing static triggers with dynamic ones based upon details about your different users and applications. Kicking off an identity automation project by doing this kind of upfront work will truly accelerate the time it takes a solution like Okta Workflows to replicate custom scripts and code. Within Okta, it's as simple as checking boxes and clicking buttons to set up the necessary connections and flows to handle your identity automation requirements. By diagramming out and optimizing your niche, agency-specific identity processes, it will not only be easier and quicker for administrators to configure those workflows, but it will also simplify the ongoing management of identity flows in the future.